Hello, welcome back to Open Everyone. Make sure to stay connected to us. That's right, by liking us on Facebook at Open Bronx Net Television. So, getyourpet.com is a newly launched site that connects those who need to give up their pet with those looking to adopt a pet. And, well, this offers a simpler and more humane approach to pet adoption by keeping the pets out of the overcrowded shelters. And joining us now is the co founder of getyourpet.com, Angela Marcus. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me this morning.
Well, I'm very curious to learn about the journey that led you into designing this. As we were saying before getting on air, it kind of looks like a dating website for pets, except it's not the pets dating; it's pets being adopted. So, what led you to even come up with that concept?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us this morning. But Get Your Pet was really formed out of experience. I spent 6 years as the operations director for the Pennsylvania SPCA down in Philly, and I saw every day somebody was coming in to the shelter saying, "I need to find a home for my pet," and I was saying, we don't need them here. As you know, all the shelters across the country are overcrowded. There's never enough space. And I thought, these are good people. Something has happened in their life, this unforeseen circumstance. A baby is now allergic to the pet, or they're moving and the new landlord doesn't allow the pet. And they're sitting there saying to me, I have no options, what do I do? And there really wasn't an option until getyourpet.com. So we created a platform where people who need to find a home for their pet can connect directly with people who are looking to adopt instead of having to take the pet into a shelter or rescue.
So how exactly does this work, right? I mean, you've spent most of your life servicing pets, right?
Right.
So I know that your interests lie in avoiding any hardship on the pet, which is the whole point of this design. And I noticed that some pets, having visited the website, are older pets. So how does a person go and, for lack of a better word, shop on the site and know what kind of animal they're really getting?
Sure. Well, let me tell you a little bit about why this is a win-win for everybody involved, okay? So the person who needs to find a home for their pet gets the peace of mind knowing where their pet's going. Instead of taking them to the shelter where they really don't know what's going to happen, they get to interview and screen potential adopters themselves firsthand, see the person's home if they like. The pet, obviously, it's a win for. They never have to experience the stress or the possibility of being euthanized in a shelter. And the adopter is a really win because they get to learn everything about the pet from the person who knows him or her best. They might, something that you might not ever find out in a shelter. For example, Fluffy has a really hard time when there's a thunderstorm. The shelter is not going to have that information.
Right.
And best of all, we're helping shelters because every pet we keep out of the shelter, we're enabling them to repurpose their resources to then help more pets, the pets that have no advocates, like stray animals or victims of cruelty and neglect. And that's why we're partnered with New York Animal Care Centers.
So obviously the shelters are seriously overcrowded.
Yes.
That's what inspired you to even put this together. Is there a cost to be a member of the getyourpet.com? Like, how does that work?
So to list a pet on our site, it's entirely free. It takes just a few minutes to create your pet's profile. And then you message directly through the site, similar to Facebook messaging or LinkedIn messaging, if you're familiar with that. Adopters pay nothing to join our community, but they do pay a $99 adoption fee when and if an adoption happens. Everything, you schedule your meetups through the site, everything happens through the site. And if an adoption occurs, it's $99 paid to getyourpet.com. And really what that is, it enables us to maintain, operate, and promote this site. It also allows us to provide this service for free to all of the guardians or pet owners out there that need to rehome their pets. But it also gets the adopter their legal transfer of ownership documentation, 30 days of pet insurance, a voucher to be used at any one of our participating Get Your Pet veterinarians, and a whole bunch of money-saving coupons at local pet
They
retailers.
get a free checkup with the vet.
Exactly.
At point of adoption. Right?
Exactly.
So that's all included.
All included.
That's lovely. And what I also enjoyed about going through it, aside from all the cute pictures, right, is that you identify where they are, as in miles from, I guess, your origins,
Sure.
right? So that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Well, we believe in sort of you know, some of the businesses that are out there now, everything's about location. And, you know, why have to travel to a shelter when maybe your neighbor 3 doors down is looking for a home for their pet, and that's exactly the type of pet you're looking for. So we are nationwide now. We just expanded nationally earlier this year, despite only have launching the site, you know, in January of this year.
So you're nationwide.
Yeah, so we're
Wow.
nationwide. So all of the information provided on the pet's profile is really given to us by the pet owner or the guardian, and they upload it themselves. So we monitor all messaging on the site, we monitor the information back and forth, but it's really a peer-to-peer service.
Right. No, I saw that the way you have it set up is that the owner and the adoptee could actually meet like at a park or neutral grounds so that they can familiarize themselves with the pet. It's very fascinating process, which I think is really, really, it's welcoming and warm, and it kind of just honors the pet.
Well, we believe very strongly in the human-animal bond, and we're a complete judgment-free zone, and it's very cool that you know, we see so many of these adoptions happening now where the person who had to give up the pet and the person who has adopted the pet are staying in touch. They have visits, they have play dates. If the new adopter is going on vacation, I'll watch the pet for a couple days. You know, so there's a lot of really interesting community-driven sort of relationships happening that, you know, maybe wouldn't have happened otherwise. So I'm really appreciative of that.
So just before we go, is there a profile that's set up for the pet? Like, you know, what if this pet is like a misbehaved pet and a wild pet, you know, one of those psychopaths, you know? How do you know?
Well, I'd answer that question with another question, which is how do you know when you're going to a shelter, right? So
True.
you have someone who loves their pet, who's caring for their pet enough to advocate on their behalf and to say, I need to find my pet a good home. And they are overly honest. and you get to meet them firsthand. You're not committing to anything without meeting the pet. But believe it or not, that is not the #1 reason that pets are surrendered to shelters. It's not the #1 reason we see pets listed on our site. It typically has nothing to do with the pet's behavior or the pet's medical situation. It's usually new baby in the household, landlord issues, or just not enough time. Somebody's work schedule has changed and they said this just isn't fair to Fluffy anymore.
Right. So this is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for coming here and sharing it with our
Thank you.
viewers. Is there anything you want to share with anyone in case they're considering getting a pet for the holidays as a gift?
Sure. Well, you know, it's always a perfect time to welcome a pet into your home. So please consider adoption. Visit us at getyourpet.com if you need to find a home for your pet, or if you're thinking about adopting a pet, we're here to help you. And if you ever have any questions, my profile is on the website, my profile. My information is on the website, and please reach out.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Thank
Angela.
you.
All right. Once again, you guys, if you're interested in adopting a pet, be sure to check out the website, getyourpet.com. Okay. We have more open when we return. Don't go anywhere.